Yo, what's up guys? My name is Holly and welcome back to Chronicle. This is the home where some of my favourite people and I will get together, tell some awesome stories and hopefully take you guys along for the ride with us. Today we're going to be playing Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, so if you don't know what that is by now, not to worry. We have the perfect place for you to get to know exactly what it is right here at Chronicle. We're going to be returning to the world of Cthulhu today, which is a homebrew world of my own creation. We're in at 41st session. Yep.
Yes.
So we spent a bit of time here, but if you'd like to catch up on anything that you might have missed, you can go and check the YouTube link down below to see all of our archived videos over there. We also have our archived videos for Lockie's campaign, Blissful Oblivion, set in the world of Planthera, which is a homebrew world of his creation. We also have the current arc at the moment for Xander's campaign. In the world of Arban, which is a homebrew world of their creation, Slippery When Wet is the current arc, and then Infrasound is the first arc, so yeah, please go check those out as well. We also have the one-shots over there, too. Most recent one was DM'd by Connor,
What's up?
who you might see DMing some more in the future.
Ooh.
No spoilers, but keep an eye out. We also have all of our other social media links down there, including our Instagram, which is my fave, where we have awesome art from Leah at the moment. They're redrawing the original artwork for the campaigns, which is going to take a lot of time, but one a week, I mean, it's a lot of work, and it looks amazing, so please go and support that. If you're into art, we also have Xander's art and all of the hard work that they've been doing for the reels, the shorts, they've been great. Yeah, I really enjoyed the shorts. I think like they remind me of the moments that I feel like I forget because I'm too busy doing DM stuff, you know. So.
Slay.
Yoss Slay. Yeah, Yoss Slay. It's so hard. And the Leah jump scares on there.
That's a good one.
I'm
That's a
going
personal
to
fave.
petition to add just like a compilation of my favourite Leah expressions. The goth lady one was great. But yeah, go and check those out, please. We would very much appreciate it. I should also note that we are missing James tonight. Unfortunately, he's very busy with uni, so...
Massive nerd.
Huge nerd, yeah.
Nerd.
Hopefully he'll be joining us in the next couple of weeks, but he might not be here for, I think he said 3 weeks or something, basically just till the end of term. So somebody else will have to pilot A9 for the time being. I think that's everything. Oh, the Discord is also down below, as well as the TikTok.
You already got that one.
Okay.
You're on top. Thorough.
Excellent. All right. Before we get into before we get into our actual session for tonight, I've got an intro, and because this is taking place in the same day as the last prologue, we're going to be returning to doing some little interesting, basically, background information, some lore for you for the prologue. This one might take a little bit longer, so please bear with me. There's a little bit more to this than some of the other ones that I've read out. Anybody have anything that I missed from anything? No?
Always a pleasure and never a dull.
I shan't be saying that.
Sorry.
We left that to die.
Yes. We left it to die in the Crimol with all of my hopes and dreams.
The players will be efficient.
Yeah. Leah made a meme that I feel like is very accurate. Pov, you destroy Holly's life. Yes. Every session. Alrighty. As the gods bestowed their favour and power upon the creatures that dominated the world during the Age of Favour, a vacuum was created within Cthoran society. Within the realm of Cthor, the arcane web that settled itself over the world became the subject of countless years of study and trial in order to harness the power inherent within the world and understand the ways in which it may be employed to better the lives of the creatures that inhabit it. This desire to learn and understand the favour granted to them by the gods grew with time, as did the voracity of some mortals' thirst for power. Though the beginnings of the Age of Favour left this power largely unexplored. Whilst many of the gods' creations sought to honour their patrons and study the arcane remnants bestowed upon Cthulhu by divinity positively, the final centuries of the Age of Favour brought with it the threat of sinister motivations. Mortals began to wage war not only with one another, but with the gods that imparted their power upon the realm, in the form of this unstable, all-encompassing, and misunderstood magic. The burgeoning study and practice of these unfiltered arcane remnants was dominated by dark magic, leading to a proliferation of necromancy, icomancy, and the paranormal. Soon, the gods feared that the strength of these forms of magic would entirely consume Cthulhu, wiping out the benevolent light magic that many of the first beings hoped would characterize the realm. As it became more and more obvious over time that some sought to abuse the raw arcane power they had been granted to study, weaponizing it to exact harm upon others and threaten to destroy the creations of the gods, the first beings began to punish these shade wielders. Those that previously thrived upon the exploitation of this unstudied and unexplored magic to instill fear and cause anguish to others soon had the arcane energy that coursed through their lifeblood stripped from them. Accustomed to manipulating the arcane as a means of exercising their power over others, these shade wielders were forced to turn to other means. One individual in particular, Vars Torkash, turned inwards for his source of power, discovering the ability to harness an integral energy known as ki in order to maintain a semblance of the control that typified their lives. As another largely unexplored avenue of capitalizing upon the power of the first beings and the remnants left behind by the planar titans, the era of the call to magic brought with it an intense focus upon the capabilities of the individual. Vars Torkash began to investigate the lengths to which ki would be able to assist in bettering his physical ability, ensuring he was able to rise to power amongst the ranks of the previous shade wielders and amass a group of devout followers that also sought to study ki. With the help of the Nameless Few and their ability to go beyond the veil, the conclusion of the Age of Favour saw many of the shade wielders purged from the pool of Cthulhu's arcane study. There was a significant rise in those that began to focus upon the individual's power within the call to magic. These individuals that began to utilize Torkash's techniques of harnessing ki formed a community known as the Institution, in which the individual would give their life to the study of physical and mental perfection. This study became a way of life for those present within the institution, pushed to their limits daily in order to excel past others that were still able to wield the arcane energy now forbidden to many of the ambitious shade wielders that opposed the will of the first beings. It became obvious, however, that the pattern of tyranny and exploitation that dominated the shade wielders was not easily removed nor forgotten. Soon, the community known as the Institution fell victim to an uprising led by the virtuous rebel leader Osgore Valorn that believed the future of wielding ki could be for good, to protect the realm and those that inhabit it. This uprising marked a significant change in the practices of the institution, spawning many offshoots and branches of this community, eventually becoming known to some as monasteries. These communities began to focus more on inner peace and perfection, studying the life force in others not only for weaponizing power itself, but also for healing and virtue. Some of these institutions encompass not only rigorous physical training in combat, but also mental training and education. While some monasteries established themselves within vast, bustling cities, others isolated themselves entirely from the world, believing that the peak of human existence and training can only be achieved when one eliminates all other external stimuli and influence. Each community developed its own unique tradition for harnessing the arcane power that courses through each individual and their ki, mirroring the varying sizes and compositions of these monasteries. Despite Vars Torkash's devout religious vows to the Nameless Few that sparked his initial belief in the power of his own ki, the uprising of the institution ensured that the level of religious conduct and connection within these monasteries was dependent upon the branch itself, as well as the individual. Though Cthulhu's monasteries were few and far between in the early ages of their inception, dominated by their sinister history, As the understanding of humanity and Key developed, so did the power of the institution and its many branches and subsects. In the present year of 1237 AR, the communities of monks that practice harnessing Ki and Chi are spread throughout its many continents and channel their intrinsic arcane life force in a variety of ways. From the espionage heavy conduct of the Litterocian Inquisition to the reliance upon the phantasmic Ki of the monks of the spectral plains of Moran, Cathora became home to those that challenge the status quo and strive for individual perfection through internal power. It became crucial, then, that communities were formed that could teach the individual to become mentally and physically in tune with themselves and their Ki, so that those not attuned to the arcane could still defend their values and their society. But our story for the evening begins under sunny skies, finally, as you guys stand out in the courtyard of the recently besieged town of Gosa, having just spoken to Rog and to Torok, the...
Yeah, we love Rog.
Yeah.
We do.
It's not going to be sunny for too long. Someone's going to roll a 7.
Probably.
They can roll-
You guys aren't traveling though, so the weather will stay as is. Maybe.
So that's how it works.
Maybe.
We stay in the one town, the weather never changes.
I
That's
roll,
strap.
but it's not as exciting as when it changes over time. For you guys, you've just considered going to the temple to, although it's been burnt down, to investigate, see if you can pick up on any leads, anything like that. You've just had a conversation with Kimberly, who agreed to help you to travel with you to the Temple of Eklios, which is your destination at the moment, and maybe even further to Lundosa, depending. Abelard is still in the med bay, so
We do need to go
you
pick
guys
him
had plans to go past and to pick up.
What if we
Abelard.
just don't go past?
We're going past.
Whoa.
Abelard.
No, he's
No,
doing
he's
doctoring. He's not
Oh,
dead in the
He
medical
saved
bay.
my life.
We're
Would
picking
that-
him up from the morgue.
Would I still be in the
Abelard
med bay
died
with
of a
Abelard?
heart
Or with
Panic.
Okay, cool.
Panic.
Yeah.
Sheer
You guys
exhaustion.
found lodgings as well. In the rest.
Have we... Oh, so we did have a...
Yes, we've had long
rest.
rest
Mhm.
since, yes.
Okay. I'm going to do the resting.
Yeah, you got that. There you go.
Oh, yeah, who was it that we met at the loss? Oh, sorry, was it the
At the rest,
Sorry.
you guys met Rowan Beatram,
Ryan met.
who was the innkeeper there.
He's a vibe. He's a friendly old bugger.
He's great.
He's no Rog.
So, can we walk to go grab Abelard?
Yes. He's up
Lovely.
to the med bay.
Perfect. You're walking with Rog, or you're leaving Rog behind.
I believe I
Let's
offered.
take Rog
I
with
believe I
us.
offered Rog to come with.
Yeah. What
You
does
can-
Rob
you can
feel
ask
I
about
think
that?
we should take Rog with us. Rog
You
is
just want
gonna
to hear
be-
me ruin my vocal cords.
Yep.
Hey, Rog, you want to come with us to the temple?
You bitch.
I guess so.
Yar!
Do you know how to get there?
Maybe you can lead us there.
Kimberly knows. Doesn't she?
I don't know if Kimberly's...
She didn't know.
Because we're going to the Burn Temple first before we're going to the Temple of Eklios.
Yeah, this is a different temple.
So, 2 temples, rather confusingly.
Why?
Because we're going to the temple in the middle of town where apparently the portal opened. So we're going to Ground Zero to see if we can find some clues.
Yeah. There was like a big fire that happened in town and it's destroyed a little bit of the city. Do you remember the wall that was destroyed when we came in? I think that's associated with the fire that happened and the demons and apparently they had like big minotaur horns and shit.
Yeah, there was little
Crazy.
monsters.
Yeah.
That's wild.
So yeah. Abelard.
Didn't we fight something similar to that?
Oh yeah.
Just yelling in the middle of. You guys,
No,
you guys haven't told Rog that you're going to get
Yeah,
Abelard first.
I was getting to it. Rog, we need to go back to where all the sick people are first. We need to get our friend with the mask.
The bird.
Okay.
He just lumbers off that way.
Rog's chill. Let's go get our blood.
He's my favourite.
As he steps up these makeshift stone stairs that look more like they've just piled like slate on top of one another to make a decent step. And he kind of, but you can hear it kind of under his foot as it cracks slightly. Rog is, for all of the Goliaths that you have seen in the past, of which there are quite a few, Rog is certainly the biggest, and definitely the bulkiest.
Does Rog do roids? Is that why he's so bulk?
You can roll a nature
He hits
check
the gym, bro.
Okay.
or a medicine check.
Would I be able to perform the help action, guessing that Rog is half giant of some kind? Like, not fully Goliath?
I think this is a single roll,
Sure.
unfortunately.
I'll
But
do,
you, as a player, are on the right track.
I'll do medicine.
Mm-hmm.
That is a 19.
With the 19, Xander's right. Rog is technically a giant, but he is the runt of the giants.
Aww.
Giant
A giant
And he's
boy.
been kind of, because of his various deformities or disabilities, in
Don't
terms...
diss Rog.
I mean, he is.
Sorry, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
You said diss. I just stopped listening there. I'm so sorry. I'm just gonna stop talking.
Maybe I should stop talking, honestly.
No, you keep going.
Sorry.
Rogue diss track.
Yeah, let's
I will pay you $100 to give me a Rog diss track.
You want me to give
In the
you
Rog voice.
In the Rog
a diss track on Rog by
Rog.
Rog.
Rog literally...
Self-hate.
Rog said last session that people call him ugly all the
Yeah,
time.
he thinks. Yeah, no, he's like, I am not handsome. I am ugly. People say I'm ugly.
Sorry.
Oh,
I'm so sorry.
Rog is ready to diss himself. It's fine.
Rogue could be dissing his haters.
He could be dissing his haters.
Yeah. Yo.
I don't think Rog's the type to diss his haters.
Rog's not a hater. Rog's not a hater.
Rog's a lover.
We can teach
That's
him.
fine.
Got me outside, bitch.
Okay, so... Oh, I've missed... Oh no, sorry. Thought I skipped a session. We're all good. So Rog kind of lumbers up the stairs, opens the door for you guys, is waiting for one of you to go and fetch Abelard.
I'll go.
Sure. Roll a perception check for me.
Oh, shit. 12.
With the 12, I'll say you can still spot Abelard. What's Abelard doing?
Probably going around bedside and just like checking up. Because like there's no one left in critical condition anymore, is there?
No, not necessarily.
Yeah, everyone's relatively stable and like most
Yeah.
of the open wounds have been like sealed up. So
Yeah.
I would have just been going around making sure and then setting up some systems in place so it's not as ad hoc as it was when he came
Sure.
in. He's like trying to get to an actual hospital.
Yeah, okay. It's kind of hard to do given that this is like the food hall.
Yeah.
This is where they'd usually hold their meetings and things like that. So there's not too much to work with, just whatever makeshift things they've found to kind of cobble together. But you can see Abelard kind of fixing the systems that are available here. Maybe like, I'd say you probably have...
Like prioritizing patients and...
Yeah, I would say you're probably directing people at the moment, more than actually like... A9 fixed a lot of the major, like, structural concerns, for sure. But for the most part, you would probably be just directing people where to go.
I'm getting like a triage system going. And
Yeah.
Like you prioritize these people for...
Yeah. Interestingly enough, you actually don't see Kimberly. And even though it's been a little bit of time since you guys had walked to here and had your conversation with Rog and with Torok, Kimberly actually is nowhere to be found at the moment.
sus. Not important.
No, she slays.
So
I'll
Honestly-
walk up to Abelard and I'll pull him by the coat and like, hey bud,
Oh, hi Kruger. Something up?
have you slept? Please tell me you've slept.
Partially.
Did. Where did you stay the night?
Because there's people that are hurt.
But
I'm a doctor.
but you're gonna be on the bed yourself if you don't get some
I'll
proper
take
rest.
a rest tonight. Like a proper
How about
one.
you come for a break? Come for a
I-
walk. Come for a walk
Let me
with the
do a-
rest of us.
Let me just do a handover quickly.
Okay.
I might go. I find like one of the most capable like the medics. I'm just like
Sure.
like give them instructions about cool. You're in charge.
Got it, boss. He kind of lumbers off as well.
All right, we're going to ground zero,
Okay.
and we could use your eyes.
You're
And
good.
in case shit goes down, we could just use you.
Cool. You're gonna have to give me a rundown of what you mean by ground zero.
And I explain on the way.
Sure. You can see Rog's kind of peeking in to the actual med bay, waiting for you. Like his huge eye, just kind of a little bit bulbous, but he's not allowed in, so just his head's
Yeah.
kind of poking in.
Which temple was the one again?
Temple of Keel.
Keel,
Cool,
yeah.
thank you.
Which has been burnt down. So
Yes.
you guys are heading to the Temple of Keel. Rog is kind of leading you through the streets, and you can see all around you there are a lot of different charred aspects of buildings, some that have actually had like massive craters blown in the side of the stonework, and it's kind of scattered across the cobblestones a little bit, and Rog's actually going past and kind of picking it up, and like he leans down to pick up what looks like a relatively heavy bit of dry stone wool and kind of just gently slots it back in place. Kind of cleaning up as he goes to make sure there's no real hazards on the road or the footpath. And it takes you about 5 minutes to get there, I'd say, with Rog kind of leading you. During that time, you're explaining to Abelard the situation.
Yes.
Cool.
I would give you the full rundown.
Cool. Eventually, you guys hear,
Well, I think we are here.
and you can see before you what is pretty much just burnt smithereens. As you get a little bit closer, following behind Rog, who eventually kind of slows his steps and stands before what would have once been a magnificent building, if not for the fact that there is pretty much no building standing here. There are just the end, kind of last little bits of planks that have either been snapped in half, burnt. The entire wooden structure, the foundation, has actually been charred. So it's completely black. There's no real sign of its previous wood grain color or anything like that. There are several different piles, just enormous piles of wooden planks and that same dry stone walling here. And in between all of these, you can see what appears to be an amalgamation of burnt bodies that have been charred together so they
Ooh.
stick.
Ooh.
They're in various different states of being recognizable as humanoids. Some of them have a bit more structure to them, and some are pretty much just piles of ash where their arms were. You can see some with a massive, like, heavy splinter through their stomach of what looks like a cracked wooden beam. There are some bodies that aren't stuck together to these little piles and pockets of who you think must have been either the attendants or people who had run to try and see if they can quell whatever uprising was occurring or whatever portal appeared here. One of them is kind of propped up, sitting against the back of a stone slab that you think might have been an altar. It's not very decorative by any means, but you can see that the the person appears to be missing the left side of their body, and it looks as if they've been cut in half. Some of it's kind of the skull, the head in particular, has kind of flopped to the side, and just like a brief bit of tooth, like, is the only white gleam that's kind of visible here. There are various different weapons that are scattered across this ash pile that coats the entire flooring. Abelard and Kruger, roll a perception check for me.
Guidance dice.
12.
30.
Oh.
Thank
Nice.
God we brought you.
Nice. With a 30, you can see that some of these weapons, there are some tridents and spears that have been plunged through the foreheads of individuals to stick them into the ground.
Oh, fuck.
There appears to be bodies of all different sizes. Some of them you recognise as children who might have been having, who might have been here for a sermon or something similar, or to pay their respects to Keel. And it appears as if no mercy has been spared to these children either. Some of them have had their heads completely severed off. You can see that there's a kind of rough, almost, it looks like a black glass blade of a battle axe has been kind of cleaved into a child's head, and has split it open and is stuck there at the moment. And it is quite unlike anything that you've ever seen. You've seen some pretty messed up things, but this is unlike any of the fights in the Lothian Wastes, where you would see oddities attacking the inhabitants of Lorothia. This is much more...
It was like a massacre, right?
Yeah, so it seems. With your 30, you notice that the statue of Keel that had been mentioned to you by Rog, I believe, or by Yoss, sorry. By Yoss, I think? You mentioned the statue of Keel?
Yeah, it was Yoss.
Yeah.
It was Yoss.
Mr. Yoss Slay.
Yoss.
You can see that the statue of Keel is, for the most part, untouched, save for the fact that there appears to have been a fire that was burnt next to it, and the flames rise up and kind of scorch the front of the statue. So it looks like it was in a previously pristine white stone that has now just been marked with scorch marks. You can see blood spray up it as well. There are various little chips in it, but it is mostly still standing.
Is this what evil does?
This is as close to what evil looks like as ever. This is not war. This is not survival. This is massacre. Rog, do you know who would be normally in charge of dealing with the bodies?
I think the priest is in the med bay now.
Okay. Eklios is like a god of the dead and like passing on, right?
Yeah.
Rog, do you mind going to go get Kimberly? I think she would probably be the next best we could probably get in terms of at least giving them some form of rest.
I can do that.
And he
Thank you.
kind of turns tail and lumbers off. You can see him almost like, he looks like he skips a little bit as he runs.
He's just a joyful boy.
Yeah. He just kind of steps
Thanks,
away.
Rog.
He's quite a striking figure in this pretty much ghost town at the moment. You can see that there are people that kind of step out of his way in a bit of a hurry as he goes past. There are people that are scattered around. None of them come close to the temple. There seems to be quite a wide berth, even though the temple is kind of in the center of a lot of different houses, who have also been, a little bit worse for wear, though some of their rooms still stand. You gather that they might have some shelter here, but the main structure of the house has kind of been completely shattered, or if it was built from wood, has definitely had this kind of all-encompassing fire eat away at it. What would you guys like to do?
Can I cast Detect Magic?
Yeah, go for it.
Cool. And I guess I'll cast it. It's 30 foot, or I don't know how big the temple is, but I imagine Abelard will just walk around the site because it lasts for 10 minutes.
Let me...
Whilst avoiding stepping on any bodies or anything
Sure.
like that. I'll make that clear now.
Let me get up my notes just for the temple. So, woefully unprepared. How dare I? Okay. So, you're just doing a loop?
Yeah, like, Abelard will walk through like the middle and stuff and around like near the statue as well.
You... Near the statue, so the way that you guys have approached with Rog is essentially that you're at the doorway, where the doorway would have been, and the statue of Keel is kind of all the way at the back. So it'll take you a bit of time to get there. This is quite a big temple, you assume, in part because of how large most of the inhabitants are for Gosa, having been descended from giants. Or in the case of Torak and Rog, actually just being giants themselves. You get a couple of different pings from weapons. The battle axe that I'd mentioned to you before is magic. As you're doing your loop, you do get another ping from underneath one of these piles of rubble. That is conjuration.
So the axe, do you know what school that one was?
I can have a look for you.
If it's a magic weapon, it'll probably be enchantment, right?
Enchantment.
I think so, but there is... So it gives you a plus, so it is enchantment, but there is also an element of evocation to it.
That also tracks.
So the axe is embedded in one of their heads, is it?
Yeah.
Of the child?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. Emma points out the axe and is just like, it's magical, but I don't want to disturb the body yet. I don't think I'm ready
There are a
to use
couple
that.
of other weapons as well that are lying on the floor that are simple enchantment as well.
Do they look like that they were made by humanoids or by devils of some description? Like, do they look obviously outlandish?
Some of them do. Some of them are just regular weapons that you assume are for people who are trying to defend Gosa. The battle axe is definitely of an infernal origin.
But it's more powerful. It's more powerful.
Yes,
Like
it
magic-wise?
seems to be.
Can I carefully start moving some of the rubble around the conjuration thing?
Yeah. So it's quite heavy. There are a lot of different boulders and heavy rocks that had made up the actual exterior of this building.
Can I flag Kruger over to come help me?
Yeah, sure.
What's up?
Sure.
Can you
Well,
move
yeah.
these rocks? And carefully as well, there is something magical in nature underneath the rubble.
How much rubble are we looking at here?
Oh, this is a huge temple, so it's quite...
Ira!
It's like a church.
Can you
or a cathedral.
help? Please.
How many bodies
I will-
are there, roughly?
Go
Roll a
over and
perception
help
check for me.
move stuff around.
Gonna move some cracks.
You can
probably go with perception. That's four.
10.
10. You can count probably 100 at the moment. Yeah. And you think there might be more buried under some of the piles of rubble.
Ira and I will both start moving the rubble as gently as we can.
Sure, both of you roll a strength check for me.
He picks up a stone.
The jocks.
Drops it on one of the people's
Should just waited for Rog.
Oh, you had to send
Right.
Rog away. You had to send Rog away.
Yeah. Yeah. Reroll your ones.
Does the reroll your ones keep stacking so you can
No.
never do? Okay.
No, so if I roll a 1 again, and then that's the only way I can get a 1.
10?
19.
Okay. Unfortunately, you can only move some of the smaller planks, Ira, with the 10.
I don't know why you asked me.
Because you're strong.
Am I?
Out of the party.
Plus
Yeah,
4.
I know.
You're actually the strongest.
So, Kruger, you begin kind of safe lifting technique, bending at the knees, picking it up and trying to keep your back as straight as possible. And it takes you a little bit, like, to move the heavier things. I'd say it probably takes you about 10 minutes to move everything to get to the conjuration. But between the two of you, with Ira moving some of the lighter stone and the wooden planks that remain, some of them are, like, so long that they kind of bow in the center after you kind of, like, heft it up and, like, leave it around.
Every little bit helps, Ira. Don't worry.
Careful, I'll throw a stone at your head and I always quit on that.
You're kind of directing them as well to...
Yeah, be careful around. Like, give them that one.
to tell them the specific area. Eventually, you manage to lift enough off, and Rog, and you can hear Rog, like, in the background. He's got quite a booming voice, so he's chatting to Kimberly as he comes past. He hasn't arrived at you yet, but you see below you on the ground what appears to be a patchwork metal disc that seems to be made with several different sheets and different types of metal. So there's some that are copper, some that are brass, some that look like just regular steel, and they're all kind of riveted together to make what looks like a UFO shape. There's in the center what appears to be a little glass dome that has been charred and has been kind of it obscures anything inside it, so you can tell it's glass just from the reflection on it, but it's probably only about that big. And it looks almost completely circular, though it is made from a bunch of different cobbled together material.
Does it? So it's like a glass tube almost.
Doesn't look like a tube, it looks like a UFO shape, so a disc with the glass thing in the center.
In the middle.
Yeah.
It's an egg.
So like a disc with like a disc around it, as though it were like one of the flying UFO things?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Is there like symbols engraved on it at all, or?
You can get closer and pick it up if you like.
What is this thing?
You're touching it? Roll a wisdom save.
Yes.
Oh, fuck, why isn't it me?
18.
Sure, nothing happens to you.
Oh, you fucking with me.
I'll touch
I
it.
don't know, am I?
Oh, maybe.
I touch it and roll a 1 and then die. Sucked in.
So,
Abelard, come look at it.
Can I pick it up?
The Zeus
Sure.
cube.
roll a wisdom save.
I get to do this with advantage.
Oh yeah, because you've got bloody Kalashta.
I got +7 as well.
Roll 2 ones.
That is a like 23.
23, sure. Nothing happens to you as you pick it up. I should write it. I'll do it later.
Does it look similar in design to like the Zushtar tube or something, and like similar purpose, or?
A9 could
Ooh.
identify it, or I don't know, do some sort of check on it.
So, one thing the first thing that I'll know, because you guys are giving me a couple questions. So, are there any engravings or any symbols on it?
Mm-hmm.
There are. They appear to be kind of scattered throughout the metal and scratched in for the most part. It's not fine engraving. This seems almost crudely made, but incredibly well done. So the materials that they've made are crude, and the engravings themselves are also quite crude. But the actual structure itself is very finely made.
Crude guy.
The ultimate traitor.
What languages do you both speak?
Celestial, Common, Infernal, Primordial, and Quarry.
Common, Elvish,
Fucking
Giant,
nerd.
and Halfling.
Fuck that.
Neither of you notice what you can't identify what this.
Can I do some sort of roll to figure out what language it is at least?
Roll
script.
history check for me. This would be quite a high DC.
Oh, wonderful.
Can I give him the help action because I'm proficient in history, or no?
No.
Yes.
Oh.
Get the fat guy as well.
Get the train.
That's 14.
You
Nope.
can't identify them.
That's
Sorry.
nice. Oh well, some things are not meant to be known.
It's quite a nice script for the most part. It's a little bit angular, and this particular alphabet that's being used seems almost to run in a cursive, and a lot of the angles for the alphabet seem to face this way, not this way.
I have a question.
Hmm.
Where do I see what languages I speak?
Immediately.
Would it look similar in like script
Can you speak
type
Infernal?
as in any of
He does.
any of the other languages I speak? Because I speak a lot, and they're like a relatively broad spectrum, but there are a lot of like, the older languages. I imagine they've got a certain kind of lettering, like how like Cyrillic and stuff is like all different languages, but they're the same kind of alphabet style.
It's probably closest to Primordial. But Primordial is kind of a weird language in that it is more based on feeling, kind of like Celestial. So the shape of the lettering is similar to Primordial, though.
Are we all here?
If you choose to be, nobody has directed
Good.
that.
Hey, Abelard, could you show that to Nadria? Because Nadria has spoken the opposite demon language to the one we speak on previous
Abyssal.
occasions.
It's
And
not Abyssal.
it's not Abyssal? Cool. I just thought the demons were
I know
attacking
Abyssal.
so
Nice
much.
thought, though.
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
primordial?
I know Undercommon as well.
I know draconic and primordial.
You could read it, Dilbert.
In which one?
This is Draconic.
Oh, dragons!
Oh, guys.
You...
I can't read common, but I can read that.
I'm sorry. Okay.
As-
Wow.
As they're kind of passing the disc from person to
They
person,
totally skip
they
over
skip
me.
over the top of you, Dilbert, but you can see at the bottom of this UFO shape, kind of etched on one of the actual sheets that's been used and riveted together. You can see what appears to be just instructions on how they create it, but it's in Draconic.
I read it out. I don't know what it says, but I read it, I guess.
It's pretty much just telling you which sheet to put where, and how the actual structure should be formed in the center.
I relay all this information to everyone else.
We found Dragon IQ
Dilbert
instructions.
just kind of, oh,
What?
Guys, this
not
is,
quite.
it's just instructions.
For what? To build something?
Dilbert,
To-
are they in the right spot? Are the instructions currently obeyed?
Are the things in the right places?
Does it make sense? Read it.
Some of them are, some of them aren't. It looks like
Yeah, we're gonna cause some sort of havoc.
Am I able to
probably.
follow said instructions and
You want to ask me if you can recreate this device?
yes?
You don't know. You'd have to spend some time with it.
Okay.
Some of the instructions don't seem to line up exactly, and often they're in actually different handwriting.
Sure.
So you assume that several different people have kind of
Has
there's different measurements on each of them.
Oh.
There are different there are different instructions on where specifically the center capsule should
so
be
it's like
placed.
contradictory instructions in some places.
Yes. So what I mean by the measurements, for example, or in different handwriting, is that some of the measurements don't look exact for the sheet that they're on. The
It's
sheet of
about
metal.
yay big.
Yeah.
Yay
Some
long.
of them just
quarter-inch.
give like a random measurement. Like you can see some of the measurement styles are wildly different.
Mm.
One of the brass sheets actually just has 2 sticks long as the measurement.
And Dilbert fully understands exactly
Yeah.
what that means.
Yeah, 2 sticks long.
Yeah, Dilbert's like, yeah, I get it.
Dylan like picks up a stick that's nearby. Oh, all right.
Yeah, that takes it. Are all the parts here?
You can roll an intelligence check for me.
Guidance.
Get a nat 20.
Guidance.
And a D4.
Yeah, right. Nat 20 would be preferable.
Get your magic. He's thinking.
Oh, no. Intelligence. I don't think I have anything to intelligence either. Yeah,
That's a
that'll
Well-
be.
negative 12.
No, that'll be a 7. Dilbert's not very smart.
You can roll. You can add your proficiency for Arcana if you've got it. Do you have? You don't have. No.
I don't have any proficiency.
You
My
rolled a
intelligence
7?
modifier is none. I don't
Sure.
have any proficiency in Arcana.
You don't
He's
know.
stupid.
Yeah, I'm Dilbert the stupid. Dilbert the dumbass.
You don't know if there's any parts missing. You think it? I mean, it looks complete. Maybe.
Ish.
Yeah.
Using
It looks kind of like a spinning top.
Sure. It's like hand.
It's maybe about like that big.
Sure.
The center is a
Like the
glass.
size of my head.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Close to.
Close to.
The center is like a capsule. That's just glass that you guys can't see into at the moment, because it's covered with soot, ash, probably like sprays of blood, that sort of stuff. But it looks completely intact from what you can see at the moment. There's no cracks in the glass, and then the outside is just the sheets of metal that I was telling you about.
I just kind of like hold it and I'm like, do you guys mind if I hold on to this and have a look at it for a little bit?
Do you know what homework is, Dilbert?
No.
Well,
I've never. What,
congratulations. You've just been given some homework.
is that meant to be like a bad thing?
Depends on your outlook.
I really enjoyed my homework.
I really didn't.
Nerd.
I still have no gauge on what homework is.
Basically, it's work you're meant to do from home, but essentially you have a little project to do in your free
Well,
time. Figure that.
I'm gonna be completely honest. Like I don't really have a home, so therefore all work is just work.
All work, no play.
I don't like. But I mean, yeah.
Well, you're.
I think go show it to A9 as well.
Sure. What is A9 doing?
And I can do
Jack, please.
Arcana check or identify. Try to identify like the magic or the intent of the magic, or identify to get more information out of it. I don't.
It's just a toy.
It'd be
Yeah,
cool.
right.
Honestly, that would be fun.
You can roll whatever you think A9 would roll.
How many kids were there? Like, could we see?
You can roll a perception check.
I
Or an
think I
investigation
only
check
one
if you're trying to.
perception check.
Does the 30 give me the exact numbers? Do I know all the statistics?
You can. I
What
mean,
am I rolling?
Perception.
perception. Yeah.
Perception. I don't have anything for perception.
Oh.
8.
So for A9, is A9 doing an identify spell or
Yes.
is A9 rolling?
Identify, because it says
Sure.
if it is a magic item or some other magic imbued object, you learn its properties and how to use and whether it requires attunement to use, or how many charges it has, etc., etc.
Paste.
So, identify.
Sure. So you, At this point, Rog and Kimberly have come up. Rog is kind of lumbering behind, and then you can hear just the subtle sigh from Kimberly as she kind of steps around these bodies and makes her way over to you, following Rog, who.
I found Miss Kimberly.
Hi. Sorry to bother you for something so dreary, but I figured you would probably be the best person to talk to in town about what to do about the bodies.
She seems very distracted at the moment. She's looking around the area and is kind of only half listening to you. You can see like the subtle point of her ear as she's like turning away from you to go towards a body. And she seems to kneel next to it and then just kind of flippantly kind of waves you away as she goes about essentially investigating these bodies to see what can be done.
It's better.
Let me just check here. After A9 casts
Nor us. Yes, A9 cast identify.
yeah, after A9 casts identifying, Kimberly has kind of sent you like a brief nod and then gone off. A9 does the first thing that would be logical and kind of wipes away some of the soot on the actual glass capsule, clears it off, and inside, as he's casting Identify, you can see what appears to be quite a similar brass helix, double helix inside, that is zipping and unzipping itself. This one appears to have...
It's a sush top. Spinning top.
Beyblade!
You brought Beyblades
Dreidel.
The Zushtar dreidel.
This one appears to have draconic script on the inside of the actual double helix that, to you, Dilbert, as A9 waves you over, appears to say it's going to Malaya as well.
Oh shit!
Yo, guys, this is bad.
And
this
with
ain't good.
casting Identify, you gather that this is functional, and it appears to... It's functional, and it appears to be quite similar to the point of Axon that you've already got.
We have already.
Another one that could go into the
A9.
bag.
In the bag.
Get in the bag.
Can A9 roll an intelligence check to maybe try and understand what would happen if two Zushtar tubes met each other?
They
They would open up a hole in the astral plane and would be fine.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
Sure, roll an Arcana check for me.
What's a good robot die? I'm gonna use the metal one.
Guidance.
Thank you.
At this point, Kimberly, so make a roll. Kimberly is kind of moving over towards you all now. She seems a bit more focused now. But interestingly enough, she kind of moves to the edge of the group, stands kind of just to the left of Nardria, looking at you, Abelard. And you can see with your high perception that her eye appears to be... There appears to be little flecks in the iris. It appears to be a slightly different colour.
Like what A9 noticed?
Yeah.
Okay.
A purple similar to what A9 noticed. But it seems to be kind of very faintly glowing. And it appears that she just is not hiding it at this point in time. But her eyes seem to kind of scan before settling back on you, Abelard.
Can I help?
Well, this is a bit of a conundrum, isn't it?
Yes. We found probably the device that may or may not have caused everything that went wrong.
A device, you say?
I pointed like the disc that we're like shoving hardly into a
As
bag.
A9's like zzz, zzz, or whatever. 23 Arcana.
Sure. With the 23, you're asking.
What would happen if two Zushar tubes met in a, like within like a 1 foot space? Like a reasonable theoretical assumption.
I'm gonna say A9 probably wouldn't know for sure, but
He would try.
you could try.
No, I'm kidding. I'm
But
so
given
sorry.
that there is a pocket dimension, for which 2 portals of the same place are kind of being placed into, you assume that it might have some adverse effects on the actual pocket dimension itself.
Aha, could just break the bag.
Kimberly squints at the device.
A9's
Fascinating.
A9's
I've
like, nope, down
seen
with Gilbert.
something similar.
Did it also go to Malaya?
I can't say.
When did you see something similar? A9 says.
That's A9 voice.
I don't know.
British.
English, isn't it?
No, it's like posh English.
Well, it depends what
Oh,
A9
dandy.
we have.
Dandy.
No, it's still posh.
Isn't the other one?
I
the, like,
honestly
the
think
Dandy
A9
boss.
actually doesn't really have an accent.
He's definitely got a subtle one.
Can't.
Yeah, but not like
It's
a.
just very proper.
Can't.
Yeah.
Can't. He says can't. I know that.
It's not very nice of him.
I can't understand.
can't understand.
Beg your pardon. You said you've seen another one of these.
That is exactly what I said. Yes.
When?
We'll see if she can remember. I believe it was maybe 2 months ago. I was
Jesus.
in Mendoza, and I was in a meeting of sorts with a rather prominent individual there, and he appeared to have drawn a sketch of something similar to this.
To this shape or to other
To
shapes?
this shape.
Exactly.
That sounds like it could be a lead on at least where they're coming from, because
So, well, are you assuming that they're made in Mendoza, or they're just storing them there?
Well, it didn't. Forgive me for overstepping here, but it didn't seem to me as if he was the creator of such an object.
At least that's
He
what I'm
mentioned a nearby den of kobold that had perhaps that become involved with generating these particular devices, but for
Not our cobalt.
No, not our kobold. Our kobold's good.
No. He's a bit
pleasure. Don't believe we've met before.
I'm Gilbert.
Nice to meet
Did you say
you.
Gilbert or Dilbert? I thought he said Gilbert for a second.
Pleasure.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, we're going this way.
Perhaps you might know more then about this particular device. From what I understand, they had uncovered one similar.
I mean, I can read it. I can read the stuff on it.
Draconic.
Yeah, that's the one.
Fascinating.
Cool language.
Certainly is. I think
Dragon language.
the
Dragons are cool.
you can see her eye twitching. You are interested in dragons?
No.
No. I'm obsessed.
I think perhaps you should take a closer look at this device then. From what I understand,
That was my homework. I don't know what that means, but that's my homework, I guess.
That was rubbing his temple.
yeah, neither is
Crew
mine.
guy's just giggling
I'm
so
gonna
hard.
pull out
She-
a coin
squints and turns towards Nardria. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna pull out a coin and say, Dilbert, look at this! And throw it.
A dog. Can I make it like a constitution? Like, what's like
Wisdom
mental
save.
fortitude? Wisdom
Yeah.
save.
Oh, look, a shiny.
Off the top. A wisdom save. It'll be a 4.
You run after it.
I'm not a dog.
I've done it!
I run.
You're sprinting after it, trying to catch it. Before it
Can I
falls.
make a dex save to try and
Yeah.
catch the coin?
See, I'm not a dog. I run on 2 legs.
That'll be a 17.
Okay, you see Dilbert. I'm not a dog. And just before it reaches the ground, you manage to and grab it.
Oh,
Yeah! I got it! And I walk back over
Kimberly.
slowly and hand it back to Ira and say,
yeah.
No! No! I'm not a dog!
Kimberly looks so just done with life, and she.
Every day.
Listen,
what were we talking about
I
again?
can see that you obviously don't want whatever information I have, so
We
let me do my job.
I didn't say that.
No. And she walks away.
I mean, I call out after I'm like, I was very interested
Oh,
in
right,
what
that's
you were
me.
saying. I'm sorry.
She's moved on to one of the bodies of the child, and you can see the axe still stuck in the child's head, splitting it open.
I feel like she has more
She-
important things
Avalon
to
will
do.
quickly say, just be careful of the axe, it's infernal in nature and has some magic on it.
I thought you would just be like, be careful of the axe, it's like in their head. Watch out.
She
Just so you should know.
inclines her head. I can tell. And then puts her hand over where the chest would have been, if not have been caved in. And you watch as what appears to be very subtle spirals of spectral purple magic begin to kind of wrap around the figure. And Nadria, roll a wisdom save for me.
What the hell? Okay, actually, what the fuck?
Yeah, you're a wallop.
Doesn't help there. An 11.
With an 11, you feel this pulsing pain behind your right eye, and you immediately watch as a sea of astral figures begin to kind of emerge from these bodies.
She's sending the souls away.
They appear to be, for the most part, they're kind of wispy, light, ethereal blue. Some of them appear to be more of a watery silver colour. And they kind of all surround Kimberly. And just for a moment, you see what appears to be a separate projection of Kimberly that appears to be similar to these ethereal beings, these ghosts, you believe, that appears just behind her, kind of almost like it's being pulled away from her, in that same deep, wispy purple that kind of appears out, like an out-of-body experience as it's being slowly pulled away from her by these ghosts that kind of begin to touch her shoulders. And then the image is gone, you can't see anything anymore.
Why does it keep happening to me? This is like the 3rd time.
That's spooky people.
After a moment, Abelard, of kind of watching out of the corner of your eye what Kimberly's been doing, You see this kind of bright purple light that just immediately out from her, and everything seems to kind of settle after that. What had previously felt quite chilling and quite stifling in the air has since passed. It all feels very, very calm, though quite sorrowful. And after a moment, she gently lifts the axe out of the head and kind of flips it over and heads back to you and passes it over.
I kind of hold it, almost with like, kind of like disgust in a way, of the axe. And she's like,
She drops her hand back down with the axe still in it, and she kind of rests her elbow on the, it's like point down, if you could say point down, like the actual end of it, and she's kind of resting her elbow on the handle. I thought you wanted the axe.
I wanted to examine it at some point. I think it could be
Well,
a good lead.
now's your chance.
But it's what it's being used for, where it's from, mainly.
Thanks, Kimberly.
Thank you for coming out and helping with this. Is there
Of
anything
course.
I can do to help with?
I will just be performing funerary rites, most likely, but I don't think these bodies should be disturbed until I speak to the, I suppose, kin, if they have any. I'm sure I can work out what they might want to do with them.
Of course, just let us know.
Though
if
it
you need
seems, I don't believe we have too much of an option with some of them.
help.
She offers the axe to you again.
I will grasp it more firmly this time, but
I've spoken to the spirits who were aggrieved by this axe. I don't think they'd mind if you studied it, as long as it doesn't go to the same sort of use as it had before. Passes it off to you, and then kind of sighs again, and then heads back off, and you see her kind of performing more funerary rites.
Abelard, I think Kimberly just asked you not to kill any kids.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't planning on it. Amen, do you mind?
Yes.
Cool, can Amen cast Identify on the axe?
Yes.
Yes.
Then mark the spell slot gone.
No, I'm just gonna have Amen cast it ritually, so it doesn't even need a spell slot.
Well, Connor marked the spell slot gone for the first time.
I also did as well, because I did my detect magic no spiritual, but I think, no, I just cast. Spell slots! Blow the ball! Excuse me.
Based. It was like a 2.
Biggity.
Yeah, wasn't it?
It was maybe like a 1 actually. That was a bit generous. Sorry.
I just like to make sure I don't.
Is there any
build up too
engraving
much.
and stuff on the axe as well?
There is in Infernal.
Oh, what does it say?
What you assume is the name of the axe. I will actually get it for you.
Yeah, my right hand is so much fatter than my left.
Okay,
Sorry, I'm so
distractor.
Oh
Use
my
that hand
god.
as a distractor.
Put it in your mouth, Mark. It rolls better. Feed it to yourself.
I refuse. Who do we think's gonna get? Who do you think this axe is most useful for?
Me.
I reckon it might be.
Yeah, because, I mean, yeah, because I can't use it. Kruger's already got a stone skin sword.
Didn't we just get asked not to use it for what it was
No,
used
no,
for?
just for killing kids. As long as we keep killing
I
adults.
think I interpreted.
This is why Kimberly is done with you all. She's
I
fucking sick of it.
interpreted it as long as it's not used for pointless slaughter.
Killing!
Yeah, that's.
I got it right.
Okay.
It's pointless slaughter.
Kimberly was like only wood cutting.
Use the magic axe only for the timber.
Oh my god.
I
where
mean,
is
pointless
this?
slaughter is so subjective.
I'm scared who we give it to if it's for that purpose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I don't think it's anyone else that's super martial based.
Yeah, I think it might
So-
be
This
you.
weapon is called.
Yes.
Oh my god.
All right. A9 notes.
A9 notes.
I'm gonna give them to Jim.
No.
Aina doesn't know this. Aina doesn't speak Infernal.
No,
I'm allowed to know
so-
this.
So
well,
on
with
the.
the identifier.
I'm not doing anything. That wasn't.
I thought there was like a symbol that I was supposed to
No, I'm
understand
just
what
rubbing my face.
Oh, okay. Right.
What's the sick name of this one?
The weapon itself is called Flesh Render.
Oh, lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Flesh render.
Flesh Render.
Flesh render.
Sorry, this is the name of the axe.
Yeah. And it is a +2 axe
What does that mean?
that has a chance of adding an additional d6.
I would like it,
Fire.
please. Mummy, how much mine?
A +2 axe means that when you roll to hit, you get a +2 in your chance to hit. But also when you roll damage, I believe you get +2 damage.
Does it have... So is the additional d6 fire like a charge thing, or is it a...
So it is a charge thing. Oh my god.
Does
I'm trying to
identify make sure it's not cursed?
I don't know actually.
Double check.
You learn whether any spells are affecting the item and what they are, but it doesn't say anything about like curses.
I might
If the item was created by a spell, you learn which spell created it.
So I should point out that it is a great axe.
Doing two-handed.
Yeah, so you have to wield it two-handed.
And as another point, identify does not reveal curses, as from D&D Beyond says.
Sure.
Cool. Give me a quick second to make sure, just double check if I can't do it. I can cast remove curse. Does that mean I can detect it or no? Do I just walk around
No.
blindly going, is this cursed?
I think it'd be a fairly safe bet that this, out of potentialities to be cursed, the demon axe in the child's head might be.
Yeah, that's why I'm like kind of like maybe before we do I just
Maybe
double
just
check.
like burn a spell slot and just be safe.
Let me
If
just-
that's an ability
I
you
don't.
have.
What's this? What would detect magic? It doesn't do it. Detect point doesn't do it. It's protect from evil, good. Purify from drink. Augury.
Beauty
flame,
thief,
fight
good
traps.
control.
General repose. Oh, I can cast locate object. Locate cursed weapon.
Please tell me where the curse is.
I can give it a curse apparently.
Yeah, that would be hilarious if remove curse, if there wasn't a curse on it, added a curse.
I can also say motivational speech. So I can remove a curse, but I just...
Useful.
That's a 3rd level spell slot. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I could just end the all curse. I mean, I guess that would... Okay, cool. So I can't tell you if it's cursed, but I can remove the curse if you do get cursed.
True based.
Is there some kind of check I can make to see if it's cursed? How to tell if item cursed in D&D?
I'm going to say there's no check that you can do at the moment. You would have to take it to someone who could detect if there was a curse on it.
I would like to push my hand across the blade, drawing some blood.
On the axe?
Yeah.
Okay, bro.
Okay.
Wait.
Ira, do you have the axe or does Abelard have the axe?
I'm still holding it.
Still have
Roll a d6 for me.
6.
Who?
Abelard.
Abelard.
Oh, me.
Roll a square.
4.
You take 4 points of fire damage and you're immediately set on fire.
Do you feel cursed, Abelard?
What the fuck?
I feel cursed.
Just roll in the snow, for Christ's sake. Why did you touch it? Why would you cut your hand on the axe?
I pat out the fire. Is that an acceptable
Yeah.
action?
That's
Cool.
that is the only way to stop being set on fire. Somebody
Well,
has to.
Was it like a check, or can I just like be like?
No, you
and
can
it's
just.
out?
That's just your action.
Cool.
Web page. The only way that you can figure out if an item has a customer with wish.
Oh, okay. So we would need
I
to
wish
cast
to
wish.
know if the item is cursed.
That's what I'll use the wish spell for.
Yeah.
honestly.
I've got genie. Let me just make sure my magic weapons are cursed. Rather than just ask you for a new magic weapon.
Yeah, Abelard, do you feel cursed?
I guess. Do I feel cursed?
Roll.
Uh,
I feel cursed by your stupidity, I guess.
Don't worry, I always feel cursed by your company, so it
Oh,
equals out.
Cold.
I have the mean one.
if you give me like a...
Nadria, what are you doing in all of this? Kimberly's fucked off to. You can just hear that like aggrieved sigh from the amount of noise in this space that she's trying to help literal ghosts pass over the veil in.
like, you know...
And she's like kneeling next to the bodies of like dozens of children and people that are like burnt and like charred together. And you guys are just like setting yourselves on fire.
I'm just like...
Can I go up to Kimberly and leave these guys? Fuck them. I'm sick of them.
Yes, you can.
Yes.
You can.
Yes. Hey, help.
Hey, Connor, do you know if there's any spells that detect curses, or is it
There's-
literally just the
There's
wish?
There's literally remove curse.
Yeah,
That is a cleric spell.
Yes, 3rd level.
yeah.
You
no.
could learn that.
I know. I'm looking through my spells. I'm like, I could, if you give me like a day, I can make sure that it's not cursed at all.
Cursed where?
The axe.
Let me touch
It's a +2 axe.
No, June just touched
You wanna touch it?
and
I wanna
got caught on
Sure,
fire.
touch it.
No, you
Do not.
do it. Trigger saw
Do
this.
it.
Go ahead and touch it.
Do it.
June
Touch it.
cut his
Do
hand
it.
on it and then set himself on fire.
Me as the player really wants to touch the axe.
So
Abelard
the,
is currently holding
yeah,
the axe.
so the axe
This
is
is
called
why I
Flesh Render. It's a +2 axe, and it's got charges that allow you to do an additional d6 fire damage, and I assume set them on fire.
Did you use a charge on June?
I
No, it's
didn't
not.
use a charge. I
So-
didn't attack you.
No, it's not a charge.
I'll have to find the.
Percentage roll.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll have to find the magic item that I created. But essentially, there is a chance. You have to roll a d100 to see if it actually sets them on fire and causes the extra d6 of damage. So it's not a charge. It's just when you use it, there's like basically a 50-50 chance that it does or doesn't.
I mean,
It's a little bit less than 50-50. I'm just using that as an example.
if anybody should hold the big, sharp, dangerous cursed axe, it should maybe be one of us who could actually use it.
Yeah, we were thinking of handing it to Ira, I think.
Yes, I would like to hold on to it for one more day so
No!
I can cast Remove
I'm
Curse
kidding,
on
sorry.
it just in case.
Are you gonna be able to carry that thing?
I'm like holding it in my hand and I'm just like, I think I should be fine carrying it.
Okay. If you
The
start to feel,
zoomies are crazy. What the fuck?
Objection.
If one of you really wants it that bad, sure, just don't like try and form a
I want to touch
connection.
it.
no.
Let's stop touching. Okay. Alright.
Maybe someone responsible.
Ira, you can take the axe for now, but bring
I don't
it to
even
me
know how to
tomorrow
use
morning,
axes.
please, so I can remove any curses that might be on you or the axe.
Sounds good.
Just also tell me if you end up being cursed. That is useful knowledge.
If you feel funny, talk to the doctor.
What if the curse
Kills me straight away.
that?
Or what if the person who has the curse doesn't know that?
Well, we'll find out.
Well, Abelard's gonna find that out.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, apparently with remove curse, I can't remove the curse off an item, but I can end the curse on a creature, and if it's due to an attunement to an object, all of a sudden the I don't know, if the object is cursed magic item, its curse remains. The spell breaks its owner's attunement to the object, so it can be removed or discarded.
Okay.
So we'll know if it's cursed if you end up being unattuned to it. And that is how we discover if an item is cursed in D&D 5e, because there isn't a detect curse spell. Let's just remove it.
Okay, that's fair.
Cool.
Do I put this in my inventory
Alright.
now?
Yeah.
Yes, it won't actually be there yet. I'll have to.
Just, is
give
it
you
a? Is it
It's a
great
custom.
axe?
It's a great axe, yeah.
Just give yourself a +2 great axe. Then.
Okay.
There you go. And then name it Flesh Render.
Are we actually at point 0? Can we tell from the way that the flames sort of radiate, or where like the blast directions and stuff? Can we tell if there is a actual 0.0 to this that we can go and look at?
Roll an investigation check for me.
Good question.
+2. It's a 7.
Everything here is pretty much
Like to run one
burnt to a crisp, and it's really hard to see any point of origin of any of the flames because of the amount of soot and scorch marks that are up whatever remaining walls there are.
Is Rog here with us?
Rog is with you, yeah.
Rog, you were here when it began, right? You were
Yes and no. I was like a couple of blocks away, and then I run.
Okay. So you didn't. Do you have any idea of where it exactly began, Rog?
If it happened in the temple or else, or maybe probably I guess if it's there.
Then you roll to see if
Yeah.
I think it was close to the statue at the back.
Okay. Team? Does anyone have statue knowledge? I don't think that's me, sorry.
I want to walk up to the statue. It's covered in soot on half the side, isn't it?
Yes, on the front side. Before we get to that, Nadria, what's up? You moved
Yeah, I left you
off
guys.
to
The
where
fuck?
Kimberly was?
Where did they go?
To Kimberly. You guys are being too loud.
I go away from one phone call and you're already you ditches the party. God damn it.
Bye, guys.
Joining Goth Mother.
Yes.
Honestly.
So-
Wish to be her friend.
She is currently kneeling next to a group of bodies that have kind of been stuck together.
Ask about the kobolds. Please.
I'll do what I want.
This is your conscience.
I do what I want, bitch.
It's their conscience.
Hey, you know anything about Kerbals?
You want me to say something like that?
Say whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Say whatever you want.
Be you.
Do you know if they're meant to be dumb?
Is Dilbert like a special case?
Do you know what happened with Dilbert? Do you know
Guys.
why? What the fuck? Sorry.
Settle down.
I just want to like slowly approach.
Jack, shut up. Seriously.
Hush
man.
you. No more.
Oh my god.
Go.
I just want to slowly approach her and be like, do you mind if I stay around here rather than around them? I say like screaming about a great axe. to
Yeah.
each other.
This will probably be around the time that June got set on fire too.
Yeah.
You can hear the annoyed sigh. No, that's perfectly fine. I honestly don't know how you put up with it. They're all very, very loud.
I just try to keep to myself, and sometimes I pretend that they're not there and everything is fine.
Maybe I need to get better at blocking out background noise.
I've gotten good at that.
I can imagine.
When you casted the spell did you like go to speak with those in the ethereal plane or something of the sorts?
Kind of, yes. I do have a spell that allows me to speak with the dead. But what I did was more of a ferrying of souls across the veil. It's a sort of communication that helps me to pass them from one point to another.
When you did that, I felt a pain in my right eye, and I was able to see them as well.
She turns to you, and you watch as the illusion drops over her eye, and you can see what A9 had noticed and what Abelard noticed as well. In that her eye itself, the iris appears to have those same kind of splintered fragments in it. That, now that you're looking close, you are probably maybe only like rulers or so away from her, and you can see that the fragments in her iris actually seem to rotate slowly. And it seems to flare every now and again. Mostly in conjunction with her actually using magic. It is in her right eye. And she squints at you for a second. We'll see. Does it happen often?
My eye.
Headaches?
It happened once before, not too long ago.
Whenabouts?
Whenabouts was the time where I had that major headache. It was like 2 nights ago with the
When you were...
Wanderer guy, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Like 2 nights ago.
And you were doing magic at the time?
I was not casting anything. No.
Interesting. I don't know if it's related, but this is not exactly a gift from my mistress. I would say it's more of a accident from the incident I mentioned to you earlier.
Accident in what kind of way?
Let's say collateral damage.
And what does that have to do with me having a headache?
I'm not sure. Generally it happens when I conduct particular magics that are powerful, although I've not known it to affect others unless they, well, actually I think you're probably the only one so far. Maybe it's to do with your connection to Eklios herself.
I have a connection to Eklios. I mean,
Well, you do
yeah. Well, that was an accident.
worship Chivoth, do you not?
Yes.
They used to be quite friendly, let's say. Both of them able to see beyond the veil in their own particular ways. It's probably not that out of the ordinary.
I haven't really asked enough questions to know about all of that, unfortunately.
Well, I can tell you what I know, but perhaps better to hear it from the source you trust.
I mean, I'd love to hear your side of it. I could always ask later.
Well, do you mean what I know of the temple, or of the relationship between Eklios and Chivoth?
Whatever you're happy to share, honestly.
Let me find it in my notes. Crocodile. Cheeky boy.
Crocodile.
You cheeky croc, you.
Why are you like this?
It's a great question.
Something went wrong at birth.
Many things. I was actually 2 weeks early, so
True
yeah.
that. So true.
I was 7 weeks early. Yes.
Oh, we're both prems. Oh, I was on the border of being a prem. I wasn't quite a prem.
You're fine. I was actual prem. It explains my stunted height.
I mean, I was born dead.
Fine.
Wait, for real? For real?
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh, for real, bro?
I tried to kill myself in the womb, guys.
I'm glad you did.
Is this like
Sorry.
backstory or like real
No,
life?
this is
real
genuine.
backstory.
Like I
Did
moved
you get
around
the
too
umbilical
much.
cord? Yeah.
That's metal as fuck.
I'm ready to die.
Born to die, baby.
That's so true though, Lucky.
Born to be alive. Born to be alive.
Yeah, she was born.
Guys, copyright.
You're right.
I mean, I turn to looking for something for 1 second. Fucking hell.
We're not making sure there's no dead air.
Exactly.
We could talk about
Literally anything other than someone trying to kill me.
How many D20s can you fit in your mouth, guys?
Why not?
Put them down. Hey. Get them out. Boys.
Alright.
Boys, I will call your mothers.
Oh no.
That was 5.
We're good.
You can do more than 5.
I know I probably could have done 7.
I'm just worried I'll swallow one of them. It's really an awkward game and when the disc comes out again.
And you think I'm the worst.
I'd never said that.
We're all the way.
Yeah, putting words in my mouth. I
The only
never
good one
said
is
that.
The only good one is Leah.
Such a good child.
No, Mark's being good.
Mark.
Yeah,
Oh,
Mark.
yeah,
Mark's
true.
never done anything
Mark's
wrong in
a
his
good
life.
What
Look
about
at him.
James?
James isn't here right now.
No,
to save
James.
me.
No,
James is able to cause a
James
havoc.
has caused trouble.
James, we had to ban Discord memes because of James.
Because of
Yes.
James.
Yes, this is a
In
fact.
any
Because he'd
case-
send me
Yes.
shit and then I'd laugh.
Sorry, no, stop.
Sorry.
Sorry, stop.
In any case, Kimberly
Damn it.
turns back to you, Nadia. Well, what I know of the temple itself, it's been a rather recent conversion for me to Eklios's path, but I believe the temple itself was an ode of sorts to her final resting place when she was separated from her body by Ontasia. The temple itself is built upon a place where the arcane web was once the thinnest, letting through various entities, both astral and from the ethereal plane, that Eklios herself swore to deal with, and then as she was separated, she was left to hang in the liminal space between the veils. It, of course, has since been abandoned for those reasons I mentioned to you earlier, but I think, as far as I'm aware, Eklios and Chivoth had a particular relationship. Given the fact that they both hail from different planes, so to speak, they are often able to deceive others, perhaps based on their affinity for traversing these different planes. I would have to do some more research into that specifically, but I do believe they were quite involved at one point.
Yeah, that's news.
Has Chivoth ever assisted you in seeing beyond what, let's say, the standard mortal eyesight can see?
Yes, I mean, not. There was one time in Runamon where a man tapped his pinky on my finger and sent me off into the ethereal plane, I think.
No, you were projected?
Yeah,
Odd feeling, isn't it?
yeah, but Chivoth has said that I have seen the spirits, I guess, before, and I just simply never realized because I was never told that I could and never noticed a difference.
Do you see them often?
I don't think so. Can I like look around to see if I see anything?
Yeah, roll a perception check for me.
Yeah. 19.
You don't notice any specific entities that you think are spectral hovering around you, but looking closer at Kimberly, you can see that there is a faint fuzziness to her outline at the moment that appears to have that same kind of purple magic around it. Thanks, Mark.
I can't exactly see them all the time, but I see like hints and traces like around you now.
Oh. What do you see?
Just sort of blur around you a little bit.
I, like I said, have a certain ability to step between veils. I, like my mistress, hang in between these liminal spaces quite often. When I use a lot of magic, it becomes harder to remain in the material plane specifically. It's kind of like having 1 foot in and 1 foot out often. So where you see the outline only around me at the moment, and you watch as her eyes kind of scatter across the space, I can very safely assure you that there are plenty of spirits around.
Oh.
It's kind of disturbing when you, let's say, are aware of spectres and shades.
Nice. Stomach. Do you ever get a break from seeing them? Or is it something that you always see constantly?
I used to see them all the time,
You have more
but
control of it now?
as I got more and more used to this ability, it's easier to block them out. But with some situations, you can never truly separate yourself from what you can see. Though, and don't take this the wrong way, I don't think your connection to the veil will ever be quite the same.
No.
And I'm not sure that you'd honestly want it to be.
Oh. Can I like maybe roll like an insight check to see if she's like upset that she can constantly see them and stuff like that? I don't know what my insight is.
22?
22?
Kimberly's kind of hard to read a lot of the time. Like you get the sense that she was never being dishonest with you throughout this conversation. There seems to be a little bit of, she's very weary, having spent a lot of time and magic in this space. She's very, very exhausted. She does seem a little bit... what's the best way of putting this? She hasn't kind of... There's a little bit of a sadness to when she says it. And she seems not necessarily disgusted by it, but she seems as if it's not exactly a part of herself or an ability that she would choose to have. Let's say that. It seems to be a bit of a burden from what she's saying.
Okay. Give me a moment. I must write it all.
I have theories.
Yeah?
She dead?
That's my theory too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like an undead or a revenant of some description.
Yeah, but then Abelard's gonna be like, to hell with you.
Turn
All
undead.
undeads
Turn
are-"
undead! Fox!
She starts fucking running.
Bolts.
But time after time, Abelard's been like,
Be gone, thought!
I would kill an undead if I saw it.
Kimberly is not a fact.
I'm a spiritual man.
Mhm.
Just I'm wondering. I could stick around for them actually. That would be really interesting. An interesting character.
Who knows?
You know.
I do know, but I
knows.
can't confirm nor deny.
I completely forgot what the last thing that she said was. so I
She
can
said,
continue the
don't take this the
conversation.
wrong way, but you probably don't want to see them.
Yeah. I mean, my ability to even slightly see within the veil apparently was a complete accident. So.
Well, I know a little bit about getting accidental magic, let's say that, and she gestures to her eye.
I don't think it's as it affects you as like it affects me as much as it does you with the accidental magic, but
Well, it is kind of frustrating to have to constantly cast an illusion over it, but you know, these things, I suppose, have to be done. It's a little bit like this constantly bleeding wound, isn't it? And you can see that now that she's pointed it out to you, and you guys have actually seen the cut, you can see under one of these gauntlets, her arm is very, very heavily wrapped with gauze.
I think Apple's actually seen the wound.
yeah, you
You did not.
You were the
One person they could probably do something about it. They're just like, yeah, I've got all these things I could probably fix it.
Yeah, you were fucking sick.
cast a cure wound.
Roll a perception check for me.
I shall. Oh no, only a 10. Yeah, face.
Yeah, you did.
That is the correct. That is correct. I respect that so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't see it, so.
Well, I'm stealing that. That's good.
Yep.
What the fuck's going on?
Nothing.
What's happening?
If we ignore it, we can continue.
Okay.
Ignore it.
Okay, I will ignore it. I have peripheral vision. Like
Yeah. Block it out. Block out the haters.
Gotcha.
I'm just conducting good business.
Oh, yeah. Do you ever think there'll be a way to fix that at all?
The wound.
Yeah, you said it was something that has constantly been a problem.
Yes. On and off. It seems to be more reactive some days than others. Do I think it can be fixed? I don't have a lot of hope. I suppose it was my own hubris, let's say, that caused it, so I suppose this is a reminder to live with.
I don't think that people should be forced to live with everlasting wounds. And they deserve to be able to make amends with it mentally. And it shouldn't be something that lasts there forever.
That's rather optimistic. I can't say I share the same sentiment at the moment. I think for me, this particular wound is a rather strong reminder of what I hope to achieve.
If it's something that you want to be reminded of, then I think it's...
I never said that. I said it's a strong reminder. I never said it was an enjoyable one.
Cook raspberry for a second.
Dr. pulls out the cooked raspberry.
Give me a minute. I mean, yeah. I can somewhat understand that, though I don't have physical wounds to remind me. I have more so mental and emotional ones.
No. Anything you'd like to share?
Haha. I mean, for one, I have Cheebles in my head constantly.
That would be another strong reminder, wouldn't it?
Yeah. He plays music sometimes, though, which is...
Well, at least you've got a background track that you can drown out the yelling with.
Yeah, actually, whenever they get really loud, sometimes I just try to speak to him instead to...
Tune in.
Yep. But
I can imagine. She holds her hand out towards you.
And?
Yeah, she's waiting. You put your hand in hers.
No way.
She flips your hands over so yours is kind of attached this way and hers is on the top. And she kind of moves her hand up to your forearm and she's going to cast
Ceremony marriage.
She's going to cast Enhance Ability on you.
Nice.
And you can see that she makes kind of an odd shape with her other free hand. And you watch as what appears to be a feather kind of floats down. And she flips her hand over again, and yours is facing palm up now. Open your hand.
Opens hand.
You can see a spectral purple owl feather just kind of resting in your hand, and you have advantage on wisdom checks.
Yeah, base.
Check. That's good.
I think you should take a closer look now. She's still kind of holding your forearm.
Okay. Could I try and see what's around me?
Roll a wisdom check.
Whoa!
Perception, please.
Perception.
Thank God you had advantage.
Yeah, it's only a 17.
17? You watch as the feather kind of settles and almost seems to pass through your hand, like down through your palm, and then it's gone. But you can see these purple, almost like, they don't look specifically like chains, but they're little ropes that kind of stretch from Kimberly's hand to yours. And as she lets go, you open your eyes and you can see what appear to be these very, very humanoid shapes. They look very much like ghosts, and some of them appear to be comforting each other. Some of them appear to be standing over what you think are maybe their bodies or somebody that they've known. They're just looking down towards them. There is one that appears to be placing a hand on Kimberly's shoulder, right behind her. She seems to pay it no mind as she kind of just watches your reaction very, very closely.
Well, I'm a bit taken aback at first, because though this has happened, what's this, like the fourth time now?
They've never seemed as clear or solid as they do now.
Well then, yeah.
Before they were just kind of wispy, sort of humanoid shapes. These ones seem very much like you're just looking at a spectral human being, or like a spectral humanoid.
Okay.
They're all different varying sizes and shapes. You can see, you kind of whip your head around behind you, kind of trying to see what's around you. None of them seem to be close to you. There very much seems to be a bit of a barrier between the ghosts and you, which is in fact Kimberly, they never seem to kind of pass around behind you.
Okay. Yeah, so sort of taken a bit aback at first, just with being able to see these guys so clearly. I just like sort of center myself, look around a bit more. Is this what you see? Constantly.
If I choose to, yes.
I can understand why it might seem intimidating and saddening.
It's sometimes worse than others. These are never particularly jobs that I enjoy because of how many there are. It takes a bit of time to get used to seeing them, and if it's a particularly strong connection that I have, sometimes they, even though I don't wish to, speak to me.
Oh.
This is what I say when I mean that it's not always a good skill to have. I don't think that you'll get to this particular level. And in fact, I hope you don't in the same way that I have. Perhaps seeing them when you choose to, communicating with them, is not necessarily a bad thing, but, well, my particular means of finding these powers is, wasn't preferable, I don't think.
From what you've told me, it doesn't seem like it at all.
Part of why I'm so interested in portals and planes, traversing them, is for my own stupidity. I've always been immensely curious. I decided that a portal wouldn't take my parents from me, and I put my hand into it. I tried to grasp them. It didn't go very well. She flips the hand over.
Yeah. Oh.
There's a little bit more to it, but I think you'll forgive me for having some secrets.
That's fine. We all have stuff that we rather not share with others.
Well, perhaps at a later date.
Yeah, as I'm just looking around, it's just kind of like a bit confronting seeing like these spirits and stuff comforting each other and
she's watching your reaction really closely. While you're watching them, she seems to pay them no mind and is watching yours.
Okay. It's not that I'm like disgusted or anything by it. I'm just curious and just also saddened by, like, if someone were to see a dead body of themselves and realize that they're dead, it would be horrible. So like, that's just like what I'm kind of thinking about right now.
Do you choose to share any of that with Kimberly?
Yes.
Sure. What do you say?
It's confronting to see all of this. I mean, if I were to die and look down at my own dead body, I'd have the same reaction as some of them are, but it's just not a lot of people get to come face to face with actually passing into the veil. And
well, roll an insight check for me.
8.
Do you still have the enhanced ability?
Oh.
Because inside
You
it's a wisdom check. It's an actual 20.
Natural 20.
Thank you.
Let me. Let's double check. So, just for your note, enhance ability lasts for an hour.
Okay.
Yes, you mentioned my wisdom
So, you watch as a very complicated expression passes across Kimberly's face. It's first.
Sorry.
It first lands on sorrow, and then changes to something a little bit aggrieved, almost, and then understanding, and then it settles into maybe impressed is the best way to say it. Well, it's certainly not a pleasant thing to see one's own corpse.
That's a statement right there. No.
You gather not only from what she said, but from her expression, that you not necessarily touched a nerve, but you hit on something that she wasn't expecting you to.
Oh. I'm winning, guys. Am I winning?
You're winning.
Okay. Yeah, I think that it would be. I don't want to ask, that seems bad.
You could try.
I'm scared.
You dead, bro?
Yeah.
I'm at the pry now.
You don't have to pry now, but do whatever you think Nadria would. If you think Nadria is curious,
Pry.
I have
Yes,
two of them on my shoulders.
Kruger and Dilbert.
Use the crowbar.
Pry now, pry later.
Thumb screws.
do whatever you think Nadria would.
Krillbit.
Gilbert?
Kruger and Dilbert.
Did you say Krubit? Yeah, Krubit.
Krillbit.
I thought you said Krillbit.
A Krillbit, yeah.
Krillbit. That's the OTP, Krillbit.
Yeah, Krillbit. Krillbit.
Krillbit.
Yeah.
What's Nadria gonna do?
Krillbit. Sorry.
I want to spin a wheel so bad.
You can if you'd like.
Roll a d20.
Yeah, making decisions is scary.
No, wait. Roll.
Even before you make it, do you think Nadria does it actually matter to Nadria? Anyway?
That's true.
Depends.
Because like
Nadria's interested and like concerned. Like Nadria feels concerned over people. Okay.
What were you gonna say, Ash?
Ready? Heads or tails?
Tails.
Which one's
I don't know
tails?
what.
Just decide
Okay,
what.
okay.
Just do what you think Nadria would do.
Okay. I think. I don't know what I think. Scary.
sounds very strong, like
Too much decision making for me.
She kind of threw down the gauntlet. She wasn't. Maybe it was. Maybe she was baiting you. Who knows?
I mean, you don't have to. You
Yo,
don't, I mean, you don't have to ask
baiting.
the question that we're all wanting you to ask.
Yeah.
I could. There's also other
Check that
questions.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. I got it. When you had that incident in the temple, did you perhaps see yourself for a moment or something of the sorts?
Roll a persuasion check.
Good shit. This dice.
I forget you could guidance yourself.
You cannot guidance yourself.
Why would I guidance
you can't
myself
you
right
can't
in
like
front of
guidance yourself
someone?
like a toy.
Yeah, like
Give me
Oh,
one
okay.
up.
Give me a second. Let's up. Hold up my G. All right, now I'm ready to talk to you.
Yeah.
I gotta throw one up. Real quick.
oh my god!
The insight was good.
Does it matter anyway?
I know it doesn't matter anyway.
Yes, I roll a net one.
They're good.
No, no.
But the nat 20 comes in at
no.
1. There is balance in the world.
Balance in the world. It's fine. It's
Balance.
whatever. Don't worry about it. She hates me now.
And yeah.
Let's go.
She previously haven't been quite open to the discussion. Her eyes narrow, and her attention, which had been kind of like very, very intensely on you, shifts to the rest of your group, who are now kind of heading over to the statue. And she flickers her eyes back towards you and gives you like a half smile. Something of the sort, I guess you could say. I believe your party is off to cause mischief again. Better not keep them waiting. I appreciate that you took your time to have a conversation with me, though.
Cordial.
And then you watch as she steps back and very visibly puts distance between you now.
No, you did good. You did good.
Ice cream returns.
No. I
You have to
appreciate it.
try again.
Another day.
I will.
Just
Another
keep rolling
day, another
D20
dollar.
and just like yelling it. Are you dead? Are you dead? Are you dead?
Well, I wasn't specifically asking if you died. Like, Temple of Eccleos, you could have just been sent to the afterlife and be like, ah! And then Eccleos was like, nah, go back. And then, yeah, you know,
No.
something of the sorts.
Oh, I thought very good question. Very
Yeah.
good.
Okay. Yeah, I enjoyed having a conversation with you. today.
Well, I look forward to it in the near future.
Like, a day or two when we go on our travels.
Well, you know where to find me until then. I will be, obviously, here.
Mm.
And you watch as she turns to one of the bodies closest to you that's kind of actually been impaled on a wooden beam. And she kind of inclines her head. It's rather ghastly, isn't it?
Yeah. Even for things that are confronting and as ghastly as this, I bet they appreciate what you do for them.
Sometimes they're not always so appreciative when you speak to them. And she lays a hand very gently on the wrist of this body. And you watch as what appear to be little purple spectral petals fall from the point of contact, just underneath her hand. And you watch as the body kind of seems to shimmer for a moment, and then kind of hardens slightly.
I'll leave you to it.
Well, like I said, if you need me, you know where I'll be.
Okay.
Pleasure speaking to you.
You too.
Then she kind of steps away and moves off.
And I go back to Chaos Land.
Yep. And I think that's a pretty good place for us to take our break.
Woo!
For this evening.
Good job, Leah. Good job.
Yeah, great
Yeah, that
job.
was-
You made a choice. It was good.
You actually, I think you did actually really well. You did really well. Good talking
I'm
to
about to
Kimberly.
cry.
About to cry.
I'm scared.
The goth woman scared me.
You have goth woman friend now.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed. I think I can safely say that we enjoyed this first part here.
Yes.
If you're on Twitch, we'll see you in just a little bit, just a couple of moments. But if you are on YouTube, we will see you guys in the next part. It is always a pleasure and never a chore to DM for you all. Much love to you, and we will see you in the next little bit. Goodbye for now.